We would hear stories of the Chinese government banning things like Facebook and even just access to the internet. And the same with North Korea. And we in the West, who think we have freedom, we found that evil. We found that weird. Wait, they're not allowed Facebook. The government bans the internet. Good. Those are countries filled with strong men who don't allow outside influences, who don't allow sex sells media to plague their people. They have protected themselves from subversion. And subversion is the word that you're going to constantly keep seeing now that some war has broken out. Subversion, subversion, subversion. Subversion is like the highest art of war. It's winning a war without even fighting. It's making your target country destroy itself from the inside. And you do that through propaganda. And the new age will do it through media. You do it by manipulating the youngest generation and instilling self-destructive habits and values into them. There's a video that's going somewhat viral right now. It's from a comedian, Andrew Schultz, and he's talking about how in China, the TikTok algorithm isn't the same as it is in the West. In the West, the TikTok algorithm promotes degenerate behavior. The things that get likes is underage girls dancing provocatively. It's useless, goofy shit, it's memes, it's like things, it's very, very heavily sexualized. In China, the algorithm promotes good behavior, technological advancements, social movements. It could just be luck, and everyone there could be interested in that content, and so the algorithm just feeds them what they want, and everyone in the West could be sexualized, and that's what the algorithm feeds them. There are multiple stages of subversion, and the first stage is demoralization, but the truth is that a country can only be subverted if it allows itself to be. You have to allow outside influences, and each and every one of us who live in the West are suffering from this. We have been so heavily influenced and conditioned by the media around us that our values, our belief system is not our own. It's not even our parents'. Take a look around you. Think of every person that you know right now, and you know that their value system is fucked up. You know that they heavily, heavily pursue pleasure, degeneracy. Were we born like that? No, of course not. People were a lot more faithful, strong 50 years ago, 100 years ago. The new age of war is affecting all of us already. Gentlemen, the hard times are here. I truly hope that you've been leveling up your discipline and your mental health, because now is the time that you'll need it. I made a video on this second channel saying that I think the darkest times of our lives are coming. The video's somewhat blowing up now, and it's getting a lot of comments from people saying that I've predicted what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. Of course something like that was going to happen. We are so blinded as young people who have never experienced any real war, especially if you live in the West. There has been wars over our lifetime, but they're so far away, we never really heard of them. All of the propaganda was covered up. All of what we heard of those wars of Iraq and Afghanistan, they were all covered up. They were all wishy-washy and westernized. I'm not sure if the West will actually experience the first-hand level of war that is going on in some countries right now. But what I am absolutely certain of is that the hard times are here. And in these countries, we are being made weaker by the media. We are being subverted. Whereas other countries, China and Russia, they are filled with strong men. Their countries are not allowing them to be subverted, to be influenced by the sex sells media. Like, think about how fucking crazy that is. We thought that it was insane for North Korea to be so locked off and they're not allowed to watch movies. We thought that that was a bad thing. And maybe it is in terms of human rights, but the truth is that that is a country that's strong, that's getting stronger. The West is strong, but it's only getting weaker, especially as individuals. Now, straight away, you can comment, oh, but, you know, America has the best army, and yeah, fair enough. You've spent a lot of money on that, fair enough. But fighters, the men it takes to actually defend and protect, no. The average American's obese. He jacks off 10 times a week. The average guy in the UK goes to the pub twice a week to watch the footy. I'll be totally honest, I'm not the one to follow in terms of politics, news and history. I don't watch that shit. I haven't watched the news in fucking years. The only things that I know of the current war is just from like a small highlight that I see when I walk past one of the TVs in the gym, and just people bringing it up to me like, oh, Hamza, you predicted it. But what I do know for certain, no matter where you are in the world, this is the time to become strong. The reward of that may literally be life-changing. It might literally save your life. Even if you live in a comfortable position in a first world country, in a safe place, there is so much value to becoming stronger, to following the self-improvement practices. And it may seem heartless for me to say, but even if you're in the middle of a fucking war zone, get yourself to physical safety. But after that, when, you know, chaos is around, you've been able to find shelter somewhere, you better hope that your mental health isn't absolutely terrible. That you can still have a level of presence and clear-headedness, decision making. No matter what you're going through, no matter which country you're in, it's the practices that I preach on my main channel that will help you. People have asked me to speak about what's going on in Ukraine, and I'm not the right person for that because I only entirely focus on self-improvement. I don't know social movements. I don't know political stuff. All I can help you do is to realize the importance of becoming strong for yourself. And for anyone watching this, a huge part of that, although we spoke so much about self-improvement and mental health practices, a huge part of that is to not allow yourself and your loved ones to be influenced, to be manipulated by the subversion that's happening. Because we think it's our idea. I want you to visualize some random rap video. I was on Instagram. I've been using it, like, honestly, I've been using Instagram about an hour a day, which is my fucking, like, Jeffrey moment. My excuse is that most of that hour comes from creation, not consuming. So I make a daily, like, day in the life Instagram reel. And it takes fucking ages to make one of them, even though it's like a 40-second video. But I often have ended up scrolling, like, more than I've actually wanted to, which is fucking pathetic when I think about it. And there was a time when it was on someone's story, then I clicked on it, like some girl posted on her Instagram story of Megan Thee Stallion, who's like a female rapper, like one of the fucking degenerate rappers. I swear, like, they're all fucking, most like rappers, most like singers, whatever, pop stars are just fucking degenerate. But it's very interesting, like the female, like the women rappers specifically seem to be like way more degenerate, way more talking about like like pussy and oh, fucking cringe, bro. And so I go on her Instagram page because she, oh man, like if I tried to explain like this fucking music video, I remember I was thinking about this stuff of like Subversion, and here is like a young woman's idol. Like Megan Thee Stallion is like a very popping rapper at this modern day. If you don't really listen to rap or anything, she's become like a very big name to the number of maybe Nicki Minaj. And this like new music video that she posted about is so incredibly sexualized, where it's like literally just girls with like legs open and the camera zooms into like in between the fucking legs. And this is what young women are seeing, and this is what like we automatically emulate our idols. Anyone who's shown and who has a huge level of clout is a lot of people's idol. Young women are seeing that, and they're being so fucking influenced by the sex sells media. And worst of all, these fucking degenerate celebrities use feminism as an excuse, like female empowerment. Like, fuck you. Don't you fucking take the beauty of feminism, of the original feminist movement, and bastardize it by saying that female empowerment I can do without. No, what the fuck is wrong with you? Young people are being so heavily sexualized, and it's like everyone sees it as a good thing. I've said before that the fall of a nation happens when casual sex is promoted. It's always the same cycle. You should really read the book Hard Times Create Strong Men by Stefan Onio if you're interested in this topic. I listened to the audiobook a while ago. It's long as fuck. I think the audiobook was like 20 hours, which is the longest that I've went through. And it was the most interesting piece of content, interesting book that I've went through. It is so incredibly relevant. People have been saying this quote for a little while. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. People have been saying that quote for a while. Gentlemen, we are in the hard times. No matter where you are in the world, I think the hard times have officially begun. And even before this, even before they had officially begun, times were hard. You know it as a young man that times were hard over the last few fucking years. My predictions over the next month, next couple of months, you will see Subversion mentioned a lot more. It will pick up. I think a couple, like I'm making this video, a couple more creators will make it. It might be said on the news. You'll start seeing more and more content of it. You'll start seeing like old videos, like fucking articles and lectures resurface. I've linked one of those lectures in the description of this video, which is an hour long, and it's by an ex-Russian spy who's talking about how they subvert America. And the process, like the comments before this Ukraine and Russia war started was already like, oh my god, this is, you know, what he's saying is all true. Now it's eerie. I think there's going to be turmoil. I don't think that the West is going to go into an all-out war. I don't think that there's going to be a first-hand experience of war. I don't think that someone like myself from the UK will be drafted. Although there is absolute war and turmoil in other countries. I have the bias of the West, and like I said, I'm not so clued up on like politics. What I do think will happen within the next few years is turmoil over resources. Water, food, oil. I see the West getting weaker and weaker. Who knows when World War III will officially begin? But I'd say the damage, the movement, the beginning was a while ago. It was from the weak men creating hard times. You best be ready. If you haven't already, make sure that you get onto self-improvement full time. Do not allow yourself to be weak, because right now you can use the excuse of like how I've just done with Instagram, like 1 hour a day. You can use that excuse. When those hours add up and you wish that those hours went into making a business and stacking some money because you need to flee your fucking country, that's when that 1 hour of video games isn't so significant. When skipping that workout really means something. When meditation doesn't work for you, there's going to be a time that you need these things. And I think it's sooner than we actually thought it would be. Online, in the masculine red pill sphere, it always felt a little bit cringy to be talking about, hard times create strong men, and, you need to become strong, because we've always had this sense of nihilism, of pointlessness, because we don't really need to be strong in the modern day. Yeah, it's nice, and you'll maybe get some more pussy, but you don't really need to. Well, now you probably do need to. And like I've said previously, all of the rewards go to the strong men. It's just that they haven't really been needed. But as you can see in Ukraine, the strong men are fucking legends. The president of Ukraine will go down in the history books. He will be talked at for generations to come. That is why we stay strong all this time. In times of peace, the warrior still trains. And in the West, we still have peace. The turmoil in the West is the white girl who posts the black square on it. I'm helping! Posting pictures of Ukraine. Like, I'm helping, yeah. Like maybe there is some value in some kind of social justice movements. But that's as far as like the discomfort really goes in this country. But I don't think we're totally immune for something chaotic to happen here. I don't think anyone is. And I don't want this video to just, be dark and scary. I think it is so entirely important that we keep up positive thinking. And that sounds very ignorant to say, oh yeah, just think positively, your country's being torn apart, but just think positively. But the truth is, that's where courage comes from. If your leaders, let's say the president of Ukraine, if he thought negatively, well, the country's gonna fall. When you see a leader, you see a positive thinker. You see a strong man. So it's interesting that there's a bunch of small, soft skills that you can be training at this moment if this is something that you do want to prepare for. Because either way, the self-improvement practices benefit your life in times of peace and in times of war. But it's just interesting to keep in mind that those times of war might be closer than we actually think they are. So make sure you're leveling up your discipline skill. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.